want to inform you of a disaster assistance meeting we are holding in Maxville tomorrow night. It was just arranged Thursday and Friday through K-State, USDA, and FEMA, they say. I don't know. They're also holding one in Haviland for Cuyahoga County and Kinsley for Edwards County. How this came about is last week we had a meeting. Jason was there, Anita was there with Brownback, I guess. Moran, who else was reps from their office? Pat Roberts, USDA, SBA, and basically nobody got any answers. The people who are really needing assistance, the farmers and ranchers. So this meeting is being held because all those agencies want the producers to know what is available. We're also inviting all the local lenders to be there so they know who's needing the help the most and say what they have to offer versus what maybe USDA, SBA, or any of those agencies have to offer. So we're anticipating quite a few people from K-State to come down. There's several people that have been working in Greensburg that are going to come out for this meeting. We'd like maybe Jason to be there to kind of explain what he did last time, how much damage we did receive, and we'd like for any of you to be there and the commissioners to be there as well. So this is our local flyer that we are putting out, and you've probably seen that up already. And this is the one that's being put out for all three counties. We just had a real short time frame to get the information out. So I want to make you aware of it, and Jason as well, so you would have that information.
This takes over where FEMA left off, more or less. FEMA just the houses.
Right, exactly. And we have people who have had outbuildings that aren't covered, and when they're having to pay for anywhere from 1 to 23 sprinklers, to be put back on their farms, they need assistance with
and livestock.
And 60 head of livestock, So hopefully, what we're hoping is that it'll be a very short time frame for all these agencies to say, here's what we have, and a long question and answer for everybody in the community. And it may get pretty heated. I don't know. But I also think too, K-State has a good counseling and emotional background for those people who are just emotionally spent. At this point, I think they're running on nothing. Maybe the adrenaline's gone, and the emotions are kicking in. So we can also be there in that area too, to lend support. So what I was also hoping is everything that we have over next door, all the supplies and that type of thing, if we could maybe get some of that over there, would that help?
We get some of it over there, and then logistically, I'm not sure we can get as much over there as I'd like, so we can get some of it over there, and then when we're over there, we can just get the word out where it is, and let folks kind of get it, because I would like to really downsize the amount of stuff we have over there. I think there's people that need it.
I do too, and this is being held in the gym, so we're going to have room for booths for any of the agencies who want to set up tables for people to sit and talk with them at, but also if we want to lay down some big tarps and haul some of that over there. However you want to work it, Glenn and I will be willing to help, and then I've lined a couple other people up that would be willing to take some loads over too. But I was going to hit you up next after being here, but since you're here, since you're all here, this
I
works
actually
out
already
great.
had it on my, I already had it on my.
Yeah. Very good. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Max.
You're welcome.
Phil, you next.
Go ahead, Dick. It'll probably take a minute. I don't think you got a copy of it.
So the positions, one position is the bottom, and two is, the more numbers you have, the higher the position.
The more numbers.
Operator 1, operator 2.
Yeah, those are.
Is that? So the higher number, more responsibility.
Yes.
Well, the higher, putting the foreman out there on the. Thank you. So you say the 2 is higher than 1, what you're saying?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, and then it has like the shop foreman, patching foreman, out on the end of that. Went through there, condensed them down, or Missy did, and I did, me and Megan went through part of them.
A lot of these responsibilities, like one laps over to the other, it's like.
Yeah, pretty much, I mean, it's, I think about everything's covered there. And operator 1 is the one that we have right now.
So the so who is it? Okay. So the equipment operator number 2 and bridge foreman would be the person that would be in charge in your absence, or not?
Probably, yes. That's for road stuff, yeah. And then if they have a problem with a piece of equipment, the shop foreman and
Okay.
whichever foreman it affects, get together and decide best course of action.
So this was your former assignment?
Not
No.
quite. No, I don't know if I have a copy of that one. But basically, if I'm gone, I'm gonna have the work planned out anyway. It's just they're gonna get it carried, make sure that it's carried out.
So do you have someone that's going to take over the duties of your former assignment, or is it unnecessary?
It's unnecessary.
Okay.
Because basically, well, I mean, both of them are gonna be working foremen. They're still gonna have equipment, and they're still gonna.
So in your absence, who's in charge of the road department in your absence, I guess? Which one, or
I
you don't
suppose
have any designated one that you're saying, is that right?
I would suppose it would be the bridge foreman. There are greater responsibilities with the bridge foreman than there is a patching foreman. And then the shop foreman is basically responsible for all the equipment.
I'm just trying to get it.
Yeah, I understand.
Or do we have names for these descriptions?
For
these individuals?
Yes.
Okay. Good.
That should take care of all 3 of them, I believe. And I talked to her over at the meeting, she thought it'd be easier if we just put this on a, how you say that, just a monthly
Additional.
addition. Instead of an hourly increase or whatever, it'd just be an additional so much per month.
So you have 3 people.
Four here, or 3?
3.
Oh, 3, okay.
Because of the operator 1 is what everybody is classified as right now.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I'm sorry.
That's all right, you should have, it was
Sounds like
lots of fun to try to
A
go through all
Laurel
this.
Hardy thing, on who's first, who's on second?
Well, I need to usually make these people in these positions, all right?
Yeah.
Or just go ahead.
Okay. accept the recommendation of the salary increase for, do you want all three names in the motion? Okay, William Schultz
As what?
as,
Patching foreman.
see, that's one of them. As patching foreman.
I didn't write that on there.
No, you did.
Would you like me to do that?
Sure. That makes life a lot simpler.
It's not simple already.
Who's on first?
Uh-huh, yeah, who's that?
This is William Clark, shop foreman. Do we mention William Schultz as patching foreman? Do we have that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and Ron Daly as
Right.
Ray, what?
Daily.
Daly? What did I say?
Ron.
Oh, I'm sorry. That is a one. As bridge foreman? Okay.
I'll second the motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And we need the pay increase to the SS.
We need to sign those.
Guess it's all taken care of, one good thing.
This morning we do get some more starters before everything grows 10 foot tall. I'm sure we're not going to get around before everybody.
Not before Memorial Week.
No. Things just didn't work out very well this year for that, but we did get started on this morning. We got the pipe replaced down on the Midwest Road where south of Leesburg Road where the pipe had rusted out. We got it replaced dry. We have another pipe that's rusted out east of Hudson. I got the pipes ordered. We'll get those replaced just as soon as they come in.
That's what on it.
On the blacktop, they're about just a little over a mile. There's two pipes sitting there, and we had a truck went over the road that flashed, and an individual would call and it was much better than it. The pipe had rusted out, it had undercut us. So we'll get those put in just as soon as we'll get the pipe. Got another place up around Knife and Joe's. Maybe the pipe's rusted out. I have to let the water go down for sure. And keep an eye on it so it doesn't become a problem.
Did you send anything on that federal money that?
That has to be run through the state, and so I talked with it. Yes, it has to be run through KDOT. No, and I talked with Jim Solis a little bit about that, and then I visited with Kirk and Michaels about it. And they weren't aware of it, but they said it was sure worth looking into.
Okay.
So, the low boy truck down there, it's a 1988 Freightliner. I've got some mechanical problems with it. The truck's worth probably $10,000 to $12,000. Depending on what that guy finds when he gets in there, we could very well easily have that much money in it if we got repaired. I didn't know. We're probably looking at $25,000 to $3,000 bucks, excuse me, to fix apart the head and stand. It's leaking some antifreeze into the fuel. And I'm afraid if we pull the head off, we're going to find a few other things. I don't know if a person ought to start looking for a different truck.
How much do you use that, quite a bit or what?
We'd probably use it more if it was a little better. It gets between 3,000 and 5,000 miles a year right now.
And what year is it?
It's a 1988. We bought it in 1993. Truck has 610,000 miles on it.
Really?
Low mileage you didn't get up.
610,000.
Yeah. That's unusual. That's unusual.
I would hope we could find something for under 40,000, and not really under 30.
I think probably 12.
I mean, I'd like to.
What is it alcohol?
Yeah. They're hard, a lot of them are hard to find because you need a day cab, you don't need a truck that has a sleeper on it. And this one had a setback front axle, so it's easier to get around some of the corners with the trailer. Just things like that.
I guess it doesn't cost anything to look.
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
And
Well, I really don't want to tear into it until, I mean, we're getting by with it. It's not got the power it did have, but I don't suppose it's going to, it's getting tired.
I think so.
Other than that, so I'll look into that and get some prices and see what you guys don't have anything. Okay.
Thank you much.
Thank you. Friday, we got our public assistance declaration. Left a message on your machine, I talked to you, and I left you a message too. What that means is that we will be eligible to offset some of our costs, depending on what the state is able to get the government to do. The way that's done is it's either done at 75-25, where the federal pays 75% of our costs, and then the state pays 25%. The state can decide how much of that 25% they're going to pay. Historically, they've paid 15%, leaving 10% on us. That will cover any uninsured losses. It'll cover any overtime or equipment hours that are eligible under their funding formula. And it will include our deductibles. So the other option is, it has to be federally approved, is to do 90-10. If they do a 90-10, it's 90% federal, and historically the state has picked up the other 10, leaving us with no cost at all. And that's what we're hoping for. The good thing on our behalf with that is that we are tied to the Greensburg situation as far as public assistance, and that's something that's very likely to get a 90-10 split. Last week, NETA sent a letter to all the townships, and that's, I guess I'm saying this so it'll be in the newspaper again. Any township that does not report their expenses to us will not be eligible for any reimbursement. The list of names I gave you is not complete, I don't think. This is the list I had readily available, which was people that had contacted us and requested this kind of assistance. So you see the assistance that they wanted on the side too. Okay. In a totally unrelated matter, I hope to this week finish our master facilities plan and present all this to you once. One of our big issues with EMS that I mentioned here before is the condition of the ambulance station in Maxville. It's 1994, has 88,000 miles on it, and mechanically, it was hit by lightning some time ago and has caused us multiple issues. It proved to be rather unreliable. It was operated in any kind of rain on wet roads, whatever. This problems are in the electronic system. If we were to sell it right now, you probably, as a trade-in, we would get $4,000 for it. To sell it, we could get 5 or 6 out of it. It badly needs to be replaced with something that's more reliable before we have a liability issue. And this was something I was planning on tackling. It's like a phone call from my team that they bought units that will be delivered for this month, and they found out they could only get $3,000 for a trade-in. They offered to sell it to us. The price we came up with was $5,000. It's a 1996. It's 4 years newer than the one in Maxville, which makes it old as far as ambulances go. But I'm familiar with the operation that is using it right now, maintenance program is top notch. They have an actual certified ambulance mechanic that works on all their ambulances. And what I proposed to them was that we buy it from them for $5,000 and add on to that an amount not to exceed $1,000 for a total of $6,000 maximum. That would be where we could send it to their certified ambulance mechanic that's in their area and have it completely overhauled. So we knew it was completely functional when we got it here. Ordinarily, I would not be a fan of buying a used ambulance or replacing a used ambulance, but the problem we're in right now is about 6 months ago, Ford decided to stop manufacturing ambulance chassis because from 1999 to 2006, they were party to a class action lawsuit over the design of the Navstar engine and the Ford E-Series ambulances. Ford makes 95% of the ambulances in America, the chassis. Right now, the waiting list to get a new ambulance chassis is about 3 years. The ambulance we have right now is not going to be reliable for 3 years. And so I think that $6,000 is for something that's reliable is a quick fix. It'll get us by for a couple of years.
What's the mileage on it, do you know?
The mileage on it is about the same as the one we have now. They're still using it, and it was 92 when I talked to them last. But it had a new engine. It had a new engine. I don't know what the mileage was on it. It's been a few years ago because they were in the lawsuit with the Ford stuff.
But it's well maintained.
But it's well maintained. And the other reason I don't have a problem with doing that is in Maxville, all of our rescue equipment is kept on an old ambulance. The setup works great. In Stafford, our command vehicle that has extra radios, flashlights, and things like that in it, is set up in an old ambulance and it works great. In St. John, our rescue tools, our jaws of life, are on the back of a pickup truck that we use to fight grass fires. That doesn't work so great. And so my thinking is we get a couple years of life out of this ambulance in Maxville, because right now Maxville's made 18 runs this year. They're not that active. They can definitely get by on a reliable used ambulance at a lot lower cost. Once it's exceeded its lifespan as an ambulance, if you remove the liability issues, those vehicles are still pretty functional as long as they're maintained. You use them to store your jaws of life and things like that. I wouldn't put a patient in them anymore. But so the plan is to get this and use it for about 2 years in Maxville, and when it reaches a point where we feel like it no longer has a serviceable lifespan as an ambulance, to take it and put rescue equipment on it like we have at the other stations. Ultimately, I'd like to have every station that has rescue equipment set up exactly the same. So if we're short on people during the day, and we send a rescue unit from here, if we call more people from Maxville, they know everything's the same. That's what I'd like to see done.
Okay.
So that's I guess what I'm asking to do is spend the amount of at least $5,000.
I know over the years they've had problems up in Maxville. I think
It's,
also.
the problem with the electrical stuff, they've had it worked on 3 times in a way. They say it's fixed, but it's not. When you're going down the road, lights turn off, lights turn on. The other day, I was in it on this call, and I met him on Senior Road in with him, and the guy driving flipped the switch to turn the lights off to go to the hospital, and the switch just shot out of the dash. And it's a mess. It's not.
There's demons in there.
Yeah, I think.
And I say it's a mess, and it really is. But even that vehicle would be useful to some degree, as long as it didn't have to patients and lawyers. It would be useful to a degree. But it's just the liability is so high to put people in distress and something like that. So that's the plan, I guess, for right now.
So do we have the money to cover this purchase?
Yeah. Well, I could spend out of our budget for right now, which, as Nita well knows, our budget is going to be, and I mentioned here before, that we're going to have to look at it again because it wasn't set up by my last year's director for some of the things that we're trying to do.
Think so?
Yeah, I think it'd be a good solution.
ambulance to replace the existing ambulance in Maxville.
I second the motion. All in favor, say aye. Motion carried. Before you run off, I've got something here, Lisa Cornwall, from this slide this morning. And she had a letter on front, says, privileged to work with volunteers in Stafford County after the tornado. I would like to commend hiring Jason Bolt. Strong leadership and done a very good job of the many responsibilities during different time at the county. As always, Jeff Parr has been a pleasure to work with and continues to be a good leader for our county. The champion in this county has been Pastor David Crook in Maxville. If you don't know David, I suggest you meet him. He has been instrumental in leadership in the southwest part of the county. The report for my time with volunteer service is attached. I thought it might be interested. There have been volunteers in the county that did not check in, so they're not all listed, of course, here, but I'm very appreciative of all the volunteers who help me with volunteer services and the residents of Stafford County. So we get done with supposed to give this to you, but you know, look at this first for it.
I haven't looked in there, but I have an idea of what that is. And it should be mentioned, Lisa thanked a lot of people. Lisa did a really good job. She offered her assistance right when this started, and she stuck with it for several days. And the plan was to get a different volunteer person to work each day, or each 2 days, and just give a report to the oncoming person, so nobody got burned out. And at first, I had all the EMS people so busy with other things, and there was so much work to be done that she worked several days straight. And her record keeping was immaculate. She started doing that from day one, so we would not overlook anything that we did, and we would have an idea when we were detailed what we did. And I can't say enough good about her. She did an excellent job.
That's got people with volunteer services as well as
I guess the other thing that should be mentioned too is she's a Red Cross volunteer, but what she set up and ran was through Stafford County, I use that term loosely because we're not assuming the liability and responsibility of all the volunteers that were in here on private property. But basically what I'm saying is she coordinated with me on that and what I would like to see done, and she did it without any Red Cross assistance. That was all on her own. They had informed her that they did not do that type of disaster service as far as providing services to people like that. And the plan that we use, and we're still using right now, it was entirely hers. She did an excellent job.
Wow.
So I'll give it to you.
Thank you all. Y'all have any questions?
All right, thanks, Jason.
All right, thank you.
Good morning.
Morning. I'd like to take the hours back.
Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's sort of well turned out. Load from this normally this traffic all the way out. And it was sold Saturday, so.
So you still want to keep staying open on Saturdays, or you want to?
Well, no, we'll just go back to the first Saturday of the month.
Okay.
Which, I did keep caught up in the pit.
Okay.
The weeks. And Road Park was picking up downstairs to work out the right field.
Quite a lot of large accumulation of material out there, I think.
Yeah, for a short time, it was, maybe some of the people had some little alternatives.
Yeah.
And week before last, I got my metal pile bailed up, production and all that. So we'll be getting between 45 to 60, depending on the market. I've got about 30 of that.
Or is that the bag up?
Yeah.
Still cleaning up county-wide. Clean up, then they'll take care of that all,
Well, it's.
Do we need a resolution or change the
I
hours?
don't think so.
or
He just volunteered to do it. It's temporary, So we appreciate you staying out
Like
there.
over that short time, they got rid of their stuff and get that work in.
I appreciate that extra hard doing out there.
I have a question on the recycling. Do phone books have to be in a separate container,
No,
or can they be dumped into the magazines?
they can be dumped in the magazines.
Okay. Because I noticed that Sunflower had a ad in the paper or someplace I read, they were accepting phone books and stuff, so I wondered if we had to have a separate container for it.
No, it's, people's used to throwing them in the magazine.
Okay.
You know, there were limited on number of agents
Right.
on the trailer, so it's fine to throw them in.
Did you call it on your recycling then?
Yes.
Okay, no.
Cardboard is back to normal.
All right, back to normal.
Is the cardboard container working well, or
Yes,
they're following the rules?
Yes.
Good. Good. All righty, thanks for your hard work.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I know you guys.
I think I've seen you before. Sure, Joe Hall. Like this is
I don't know, some requirement, I guess.
just being on TV. I done our back is We wanted to, I'm Joe Fritzmeyer, Bird Minister. We wanted to come to you this morning and give you the results of the vote that we had concerning transferring or donating the hospital to the county. We had this at our annual meeting on May the 7th. We had a vote of 192 to nothing to transfer it to the county. This is the original signature for your books. And we wanted to present this to you. I ask that you consider taking the next step as far as going for a special election. We, I don't know, I've talked on this and I don't know what we can do, but we do have some funds that we were given in a grant from the state that we would be more than happy to try to work in some kind of reimbursement for each part of the cost of the election. I know that may not be, I don't know how it have to be handled. Maybe I don't know this, I don't know how many we can't pay for it directly. I guess I'm just throwing that out. I'd like to do something if there's a way.
I don't think there is, but I'm still researching.
Yeah, research it and see what you can find out, because I would like to, say, would like to reserve part of that if possible. And if not, we'll have other expenses we'll use it on. But I would, like to help reimburse the county for some of their expense if it's possible. Don't know how it can be done, but I'm sure there's a way to figure it out. I would like to just ask that when the special election is set, how it's going to be, if you can let me know, because we are going to be scheduling meetings throughout the county. Up to this point in time, we've only had them in Stafford this year, because that was the area that had to make the first decision. But we are going to now be going throughout the county, and I know one of the questions they're going to ask is when and how, so I'd like to know as much as I can about it, so I can pass that information on to those meetings.
Well, I think we'll wait till all of, to leave back before we take action on the motion.
So we have to pursue any questions. We'd like to have as many people in the county vote as possible, so that's.
I'm thinking about doing a mail ballot election. It'll be, I think it'll be cheaper for us in the long run. And that way, every voter will get a ballot. And they won't have to come to the polls. I think the turnout will be a lot better. But I have to wait for the Secretary of State's office to tell me I can do that.
To give you permission.
Yes.
And you gotta wait till we get this.
Yeah.
They take action,
Yeah.
and you, it's
Right.
just got the stair
So-
steps.
Do you have a return staff at April? Probably supposed to.
No. No, we don't do that for mail ballot. And they can either mail back or bring it back in the office. They don't mail it back. I still think that would be the cheapest way to go.
I think we give everybody the opportunity, they don't have any excuse for not voting, except for the ones that just take it, throw them on the stack or throw them in the trash. And we go through, we can get as many of those people out as we can.
Joe on board to do all this as well.
He was supposed to be here this morning.
Well, it's a little early. I mean, it's only 2 minutes after 9. Or no.
He told me
it's
to be
5,
here
6.
at 8:30. But he knows what's going on, so he's aware of it. So.
All right. Works well, yeah, I can give you another copy for me.
Oh, yeah.
I'll keep one.
I'll keep one.
I'll keep paper out my ears. Well, you voted, so.
All right,
Okay.
thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
See you guys.
All right. Okay, we have anything else right now?
This is something you need to read over and decide on. I don't have anything, no.
Okay, we'll recess.
Is all one provider?
It's all
Okay.
go with that.
Yeah, Alltel seems to have a lion's share around here.
Can you run? What do you want?
I think they have the biggest geographic footprint.
Have good coverage, I think.
So there, what you're saying in the IRS is that this is additional
Unless you require the employees in writing to reimburse for personal usage, the IRS is treating it as some kind of
benefit.
additional income or benefit
Yeah.
for which we, the county, have to withhold taxes.
So does each cell phone have to have a barcode on it to be identified if it's?
Well, I mean, you could go that far if you wanted, we haven't. Here's the thing, I got through 40-some years, 45 years, whatever, without ever using a cell phone. I think I got by quite well. Over at the middle school, every 7th grade girl had a mobile phone or a cell phone.
Oh, yes, I see that.
I know.
So who's gone?
Who's what?
There's 3 phones here that just says user is gone.
Oh, I think he did away with these phones.
No.
Philip did. And they have.
Are they gone as in lost?
As in, no, as in canceled.
So we have 15 cell phones?
And some of them are in those ambulances.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not used regularly.
I think the sheriff uses theirs quite a bit, so they don't have to use the radio
Yeah.
and confidentiality issues.
Did your road and bridge department use cell phones?
Mm-hmm. So we'll have to adopt it.
Well, let's just.
But this is just an example.
Yeah.
We'll have to.
So I think what happened is Nita went to one of her county clerk meetings and she was told that your county needs to have a cell phone policy.
Exactly.
We need an opinion on this.
that subject?
I call it sick leave.
And I think that
This is a transfer of vacation time is what it is. Because I had to do one of these transfer of sick leave things, which is pretty common.
Right.
I've never done a transfer of vacation.
right. Is it okay if we pursue the cell phone policy first? Let's get that out of
Yes.
the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're wanting to adopt one then? Have you got one?
I don't have one, no. I just asked him to come up with one,
Okay.
so we can adapt it to Stafford County, and then we'll.
Right, then they just send it to me.
Right.
The only really interesting thing in there is I sat down, tried to figure out what formula we'd use to discourage the personal use of county-provided cell phones. That's why we have that kind of surcharge in there.
And is that incoming as well as outgoing?
Whatever shows up on the bill. Yeah, they charge you for incoming calls as well.
Expected refrain from using your cell phone while driving?
Insurance companies like that. I'm not quite sure how you enforce it.
I
Yeah,
don't either.
that's it.
I don't see it. I think it gets through here all the time.
So we don't have a provision for this?
Now, I can probably get you something much more involved on cell phones from like Central County, because that's where I get a lot of information from. It's a question of distilling it down or redacting it, because
Well, not here, quite a big.
their idea of a personnel policy or procedures handbook looks like the Wichita Yellow Bar is. Don't get me wrong, I mean, they have a lot of good lawyers on staff for Central County, but they're paid by the page.
Yeah, sure.
Speaking of Sedgwick County, I guess June 4, I get to wander down there on something for the Board of Tax Appeals for our county. It should be fairly straightforward. But the deal on June 4 is Carl Miller is booked elsewhere on one of these series of these informal meetings to discuss valuation. And this is pretty much strictly a question of law. It's not much of a question of law. It's, gee, are we properly applying the PVD, Property Valuation Division standards versus farmland? So, we, of course, are dealing with some type of estate or trust for somebody else.
Okay, it's not introducing any problem with that on that first.
No, I really don't. I mean, the thing is that, I'm not enough of a tax attorney to answer this, but does that make for more income to Mr. Kelch?
No, it's just giving him,
Because these are not paid vacation hours, in other words.
Yeah, they
Well,
are.
yeah, they will be for him, so
Okay.
yeah, I guess it would be,
Yep, yeah.
you look at it that way.
Because it's
Yeah.
gonna make for more
Right.
income to him, that's
Right.
what you need to check on. Because like I said, the IRS just lives to catch county clerks.
Well, he'll just be taxed the same way as he always is taxed. I mean, it's nothing, and I'm sure he knows that Rob's trying to do this for him, and if he doesn't have a problem with it,
Well, just make sure Mr. Kelps gives you something in writing saying this is copacetic with me.
Folks have to do that, to donate something.
You want to encourage it.
Right.
so basically, Kels needs to sign something that he has accepted these 40 hours from Murrah.
I'll make a motion, we allow Mr. Morrow to donate 40 hours of his vacation time to Bill, is it Coach?
Kelch.
Kelch, during this disaster period.
I second the motion, all in favor say aye. Motion carried.
Like, Jamie, you signed the bottom of that.
Well, we won't be taking any action today on this possibility, Jack, you can review this, so.
Well, basically what we're looking at is a situation where we put it to the vote of the county as a whole. And I'm assuming we don't have a general coming up in 6 months.
No.
Unless they do something weird about Kansas primary
No,
or
no.
something.
I'm wanting to do it mail ballot,
I'm
If
all
I
in
can.
favor of that.
It'll be
That's
cheaper.
cheaper and you'll get a higher turnout too. I mean,
but I have to wait for the Secretary of State to tell me, yeah, we can do that, so.
Now, on these special elections, you gotta remember, every time you have voters go to the polls, there's like one issue or two issues on the ballot, typically it's like a school law or something, you get 15% turnout if you're lucky. That's really
That's real lucky.
not a good way to handle what's going on, essentially a tax increase for many citizens of the county. So we can do a mail ballot, I'm all in favor because you'll get less dissatisfaction expressed.
The question that goes on the mail ballot is the exact question that was put to the Stafford board, or does
No,
it?
it's gonna be different.
You have to write that
question.
question.
I will plagiarize from myself again, I did this in
But
1992.
you write that question.
Last time, hopefully I can find it.
That was one of my, I didn't know who wrote the exact question that would go on the ballot.
Yeah,
You did.
basically, you and I.
Okay.
So we'll have to formally accept this. And then,
Basically, they've held their election, we have to hold our election.
But do we need a
Do we
motion
need-
today formally
I
accepting
don't
this?
want the,
I don't-
I think of the action
I
itself,
haven't
you
seen
know.
anything
We
in
just
these
need to
statutes.
file a motion to set this for, I guess, a special election since we have a general coming up. And let's wait, hopefully, because we're not our gun right now, let's hopefully get permission from the Secretary of State to do a mail ballot so we do it all at once.
Right.
So mail ballots are good because every special I've looked at, you actually get a better response in terms of your absentee ballots. People who are always voting absentee ballots continue to do so. hospital, make sure that
Research out.
we are, comfortable shooting for the mail election. Just, again, it's a political matter. You get a higher turnout, it's easier to justify the results. And every
Well,
time,
and quite honestly, with mail ballot, I don't have to have election boards. I can use hand count ballots. I don't have to pay for the audio files for the scanners, and it'll just be tons cheaper.
If you had the other way, it'd be
It'll be $6,000-7,000. I mean, postage will be high on this one, but I still think I think the turnout will be better.
okay.
and I'm assuming we're not gonna do anything foolish as a state as have a presidential primary.
No, that's all.
Good.
It's-
Don't get me started on that.
Yeah, they were gonna hold that on Saturday. That is.
Do you have something more, Lisa?
Yeah, gonna do what? Joe, how's the tax sale going? Have you had anybody redeem taxes?
We had, Hispanic surname, so I was, was on a tract of land where he'd been after me from the get-go to make partial payments, and I explained to him that, one, treasurers don't have to take partial payments when the tax is still in their office, but two, most certainly, we're not taking partial payments in the context of a court case. Either get in there, pay it all off, here's your payment figure, or, risk losing it. But, you take a partial payment, the thing becomes, a piece of property becomes in limbo, so to speak. On foreclosure, that's essentially what we're doing. You take partial
Well, the other
payments.
taxpayers aren't allowed to make partial payments. You pay all your taxes.
And, everybody has a sob story, it seems, but the whole idea is the system will grind to a halt. And then we have another person who's been inquiring about redeeming the property. They just don't seem to understand that, basically, you get in, you get a payoff figure, and you pay it. Again, they want to do partial payments. There's this whole, grapevine out there about partial payments. I mean, I looked at the statutes again. As far as I understand, it's totally up to you if you want to take partial payments on current taxes.
Right.
Totally up to you. It's a matter of discretion. So, but on past due taxes, don't put cheap.
No, not on delinquent, because you never get caught up. But as far as you know, then nobody's redeemed yet, this
Not
lot
yet.
top.
We've had two people inquire, and it's like they're not comprehending. I mean, because we have payoff figures for them. That's not a problem.
Right.
Treasurer's office is very user-friendly as far as I'm concerned. But everybody thinks they can give us, 10% down and,
Just to get it off the sale.
yeah, and the
Yeah.
whole
And
idea
then
is
you
know
have
that
back on the next year then.
Yeah.
this is, hopefully clean it up the next couple of years.
And I do have that a lot.
Yeah.
Before I turn things over to tax sale, I write letters to everybody saying, please bring your taxes current. I'm getting ready for the next year's tax sale. And people will call me and say, well, how much do I have to pay so it doesn't go to tax sale? Just so they're just barely under the wire.
It's like I want to buy like when I'm buying furniture. No payments down, no interest until year 2009.
I mean, I guess they get by with it, keeps them out of the tax sale. We always have those that are,
Nobody can complain about not having chances to pay off their taxes, let's put it that way. But once you start paying for the abstract, and of course we'll have our nice expensive little ad in the Stafford Courier, because let's face it, we can get good service to a lot of people. Once we're going that far, let's, go all the way, make them, pay up. A lot of these people, I'm gonna have to quote them a higher payoff figure, because last time I looked, newspaper publications are kind of expensive. What we do typically is we have, say, 20 tracts of real estate in a tax sale, we'll prorate the cost of publication amongst the 20. So we're running probably $600, $700 bill for publication to give all these wonderful legal descriptions. Maybe I'm being optimistic there, but, you know, by 20, you're gonna be adding $40, $50 per parcel on it.
I think that's good you're doing that. That hadn't been done in the past, so. I think it's good to try to pass these expenses on to the taxpayer because, especially the habitual ones that do, like I said, they're always just, they don't do it until they're pressed to the wire. You start softening them with a few more expenses that we can legally recoup for the county. I think that's really good, because that hadn't been done in the past.
Because there's no such thing as a free lunch in America.
And it shouldn't be any expense to the county. It's their responsibility to pay everything they owe.
See, the key is to try and collect user fees, because the legislature certainly constrains counties on what you can do tax-wise. It's like you can tax people's real estate. That's about it. The legislature seems to preempt our ability to tax personal property with all the exceptions that it creates. So basically, it's the little old ladies or retired people paying taxes on their houses that is a good part of our tax base.
Now, do I understand this right? If somebody wants to redeem, they got to fill out an application with Mary, and then they have a hearing,
Yeah.
and then they decide whether or not they can redeem it or not?
Correct.
The judge? Okay.
The applications are up there. I mean,
That's kind of different too than the way they own it. So the judge could actually deny an application for
Sure.
redemption?
it happens all the time.
Okay, you got something else, Ed?
Yeah, I have,
We'll go check on some of our little criminal friends. On
All right.
I'm starting to get some names down.
Oh, I'm sure.
this is like a work in progress, and I finally got it done. I've been meaning to get it to you for a while, and we've had a lot of stuff go on in the last couple weeks. Yeah, here's a copy for you. But this is just basically a quarterly report that I'm going to be trying to get to you guys every quarter. On the first page, it shows how much money is in CDs, and then how much is in our Stafford County banks. And it's just for informational, to show you guys what I'm doing.
The Stafford County banks are,
Currently, it's the two banks here in St. John, but I can use all the banks in the county if I choose to. Because at the first of every year, we designate depository banks.
and there's two in Maxville? One. Two.
Two in Maxville, two here, one at Stafford, one at Hudson.
The building's here.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Six banks.
And then that page is just a graph showing exactly what was on the first page, how much is in CDs and how much is liquid accounts. And then the last page is just interest benchmarks, which shows the comparison to the T-bill rates and what the interest rates that I'm getting on the CDs. So I've been managing to get above the T-bill rate.
pretty consistently on CDs for the county. So that just shows that. That makes sense to you?
And we're just saying there's a fire sale on CDs. January rural fire.
The fire department has a CD that was, there was money donated to the county for rural fire, so I have to keep that designated separately, because they earn the interest on that, and that has to accumulate to that CD. The other CDs just go into county general, but, so I just always keep it named separate.
And then there's a fire sale.
And then the last page is just a comparison of interest from 2005 to 2006 and 2007.
Of course, the interest rate's up a bit.
Yeah, interest rate,
About
but
1 or 2% up to what it is now.
interest rate has helped us a lot, but back in 2005 and years before, we were not getting above T-bill rate. So I've still managed to increase our percentage interest, I would say, by 2 points from what we have been doing before in the past. And I'm still learning, so I'm trying to, I figure as much money as I can earn in interest, it offsets taxes, so it goes back to the taxpayer, so. I've been trying to be real aggressive in that. I feel I've done a really good job.
So these liquidity accounts are like mutual funds and
Basically just our checking accounts. There's a couple money maker accounts that don't have very much money in them, but no, the money maker accounts have more in them, and then as I need money, I transfer them to the checking accounts because they earn a higher interest rate. So I'll try to be presenting you with this every quarter, just to keep you guys informed and letting you know what I'm doing, so just for information.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
Phil?
Phil probably bought a truck already.
Yeah, hold on.
I just wanted to ask you about the parking lots.
Yes.
What were you guys, before we get too far into summer?
We need to establish our property lines, and I talked to Lisa the other day. She said, suggested if they can't find the surveys, they let me know who did the survey, and we could go ahead and contact them, and we could get, them come out and reestablish the points. And so she said she would get back to me on that. I would like to get our property line established before we do that.
Sure.
But our intention is, like I think we talked about, is to pay that over there, and then designate as employee parking,
And
8
then
to 5.
it's back here too.
And back here behind, back here too, either you put, whether we're gonna pave that saw or put that, millings or something on it,
Well, we'll limit it on what I'm sure you want to,
Do it.
I mean, put some millings down and we'll put a fresh layer of asphalt on
Yeah,
it.
I'll probably,
That would probably better if we had the people to seal the city streets, come in and seal it that way, and just do
Yeah.
the sand seal.
Yeah, the track around either like the
Yeah.
other, that's nice thing about that.
Well, I was curious more than anything else because timeframes, I mean.
I understand.
Time's
I
going
like this
down.
on
Well, and I think time is an essence too. The sooner we get that lot over there established and make it a policy that's employee parking, the better off we are around the courthouse for the
I did
customers.
have Ryan spray it,
I see
Did I
you,
tell you that?
I see you go to the beach center.
just to keep it
But it needs,
under control, but
just have some way to establish the point there. You got metal
Yeah, we
detector,
know
you
what
got
it
metal
is.
detector.
Yeah, we got that
You
shop
guys
stick
find
down
the
there.
pin.
If you get metal detector, you should be able to go out there and find where they drove the rebar in the ground
Yeah, surely they said, round bar anyway.
yeah, and find, then we know where our lines are, and go further. Then I would like to see too, if we get it done, is those, little parking curbs, you know, we could, so we can set those along both sides.
you're gonna have to have.
And then you'd have a designated parking spot too for someone, other than someone taking up to his responsibility. I count, if you get parking cars there, you get both sides.
No problem.
Yeah,
And
both sides.
more than likely, we'll have to build a barricade around the air conditioner on the west side of the width building, is that it? Probably some pipe, you've seen that.
Yeah, we did one of those out for the health department. That's,
The only thing I don't like about asphalt millings, it does track.
Yeah, right.
I mean, the treads on the tires.
Well,
Yeah.
he's talking to put that down for under,
Yeah.
for the base.
Say base,
yeah.
And then put.
but over there we're gonna put asphalt.
Hopefully our mix guys will be here for 2 months longer. They've had most of their crews out of Greensburg.
And you plan on putting mix over there, right?
Yes,
That's over there.
and then, so then come in and see what, when the city does theirs. They usually do that in, September usually. So, okay, well,
And then
And
we
what
have
about,
I was gonna ask you about that earlier, and I just flat forgot it. so.
have you do anything out there at the EMS toggle?
Yes, we took care of
Okay, I
those.
know it's pretty bad potholes.
Yeah, no, we took care of
Okay,
those
good.
a while back.
That'd probably be something might think about sealing too this,
Yeah,
next time around, because it's getting pretty bad out there.
and they may wanna do that other stuff too. I mean, it's just, you can't, we don't have anything to pick up the sand. You can't go in there with a loader and try to pick it up. because then you'll
It tracks around
seal
and everything
it.
too.
So, I'll try to get with Mel and see if he's got any idea, and then that way we get whoever
Get scheduled in.
an idea of what it's gonna cost.
All right.
Do we have to get permission from the city?
For what?
Now, to like pave that and pave
But
this.
if we own the ground.
Well, that's it, I don't know, if, you know, to do anything on it, then we can own it, so I don't know. I don't know.
I'll visit with him and find out. But I wanted to ask you about that.
Okay. All right.
Too
That's
crazy,
fair.
Yeah.
too crazy, or?
Okay, thank you.
Anybody have anything else right now? Need it? We'll recess.